Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law out of our office here in St. Louis. And on today's call, I have one of our other lawyers in the office. Her name's Christina Sullivan. Christina, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you, Jim?
Great, welcome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, so everyone, for those of you tuning in, please leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Looks like Rocio's here. A lot of the usual suspects. Jason's here. Renee. Everybody's here. Good to see you all. We're going to go the full hour. Christina and I are going to help answer as many of your immigration law related questions as possible. I don't know if you've seen Christina, but last week there were two or three people that were sort of surprised to know, or who actually asked me if I knew any good immigration lawyers. So, it's sort of a lesson and that's why I sort of introduced that I'm an immigration lawyer, just so that people remember. Um, yeah. So what's new? What's new with you? So you want to tell everybody sort of your background, and then maybe what your job is at the firm, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina. I am also an immigration attorney. I was born and raised in San Diego, California, went to law school out here, and have been enjoying practicing immigration law for a few years now. My mother is an immigrant from the Philippines, so that inspired me to go into immigration law and help other people and advocate for immigrant rights. I am the intake attorney here at Hacking Immigration Law. So, more likely than not, if you are looking for our help, you'll talk to me and I'll help you figure out what your immigration options are.
How do you enjoy your job in Leeds, and sort of what's your day like?
So I absolutely enjoy it. Every day is different, but most of the day is spent talking to people and figuring out how we could get them a visa or reunite them with their family or get them here through employment. So it's very exciting. I also help out the lawsuit team and have been filing some lawsuits in California as well. So that's super exciting. And lately, I've been attending USCIS interviews for naturalization and for green cards. So
Yeah,
it's been a joy.
you had a naturalization client get naturalized last week, right?
Yes, yeah. We went in, he passed his test, got everything taken care of, and then right away took the oath and walked in a green card holder, walked out a citizen. So it was very fulfilling to be there.
And you also had a sort of a tougher case for a I guess it was for a 751 and for citizenship, and we got a really rough notice of intent to revoke today on that one, huh?
We did. But, we're here to help as much as we can. We want to help as many people as we can, especially it's very close to my heart. Being a child of an immigrant and having them and their family go through the process. So we try to do as much as we can.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you're a great member of the team. We love having you. Let's go ahead and bring on our first guest. His name's Peter. Hi, Peter.
Hey Jim, hey Christina, thank you very much for having me. Hey,
Sure. How
how
you
you guys
doing?
doing?
Great.
Good. Good. How are you?
Thank you. So I'm doing good, thank you very much. So I have a situation. Uh, my father and I have a situation. We are both Hungarian nationals, EU citizens, and we have family in the US, and we would go back and forth, visit them through the visa waiver program. And a few years ago, my father. Um, was offered a job with a company, and they decided to go down the perm route, the third preference worker, if I'm correct.
Okay.
They filed the prevailing wage determination and then the labor certification. And a few days ago, actually, we got the labor certification approved.
Okay.
And now we are preparing to file the I-140 with premium processing. But it was a multi-year process, and I am aging. So I am as of today, I'm 20 years old, but I'll be turning uh, 21 this October. And the plan was for us to go together to the States. So I don't know if when am I protected, or do I have any chance?
All right. Yeah. Thank you for calling in. So you're turning 20 later this year. The
20, he's
I-140,
turning 21, I
21,
think, right?
turning
Yes,
21.
21 this
Okay.
October. Yes.
October. Okay. And then you have, so the I-140 has not been filed yet.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. You can technically file the green card application at the same time, but you would still have to wait till the I-140 actually gets approved. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, I don't have as much experience with the employment-based
Right.
visas, but it could still be a long process.
Mm-hmm.
So just to be clear, Peter, you're outside the United States right now,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Right.
that is
So
right.
tell me a little bit about the job that your dad would be doing on the EB3 green card.
Okay, so he's an engineer, and he's like he has the like fiber. He works with fiberglass technology, and that's what the company needs, essentially.
Okay. And so I think it's almost certain that you're going to age out.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that even if we got the I-140 approved in say 2 months, if you file it, it doesn't freeze your date. It just gives you the benefit of the time that USCIS spends processing the case. There's a small chance, and obviously you got to do everything as quickly as possible, but you're talking about filing an I-140 and then waiting for it to get approved and then trying to get an immigrant visa with your dad. Certainly worth a shot. Certainly shouldn't give up, but I think you should probably count on your parents having to apply for you.
Okay. That's what I was thinking as well. So with today, so the USCIS would send if the I-140 is approved. So with the I'm sorry, I have multiple questions. So with the if the I-140 is approved, so like the 15 days is more or less than a lie.
It can be. It's sort of a promise. My friends who do a lot of employment stuff say that they are seeing positive changes at USCIS in the processing times of employment cases. But yeah, generally 15 days is really 45.
Oh, I see.
Because they buy themselves time. They'll wait the 15 days, then they'll send you a request for evidence, which stops the clock. Then you have to respond to the request for evidence, and then then the clock starts over again. So they know how to manipulate it to buy themselves more time. Might happen faster, but yeah.
I see. And my other question is, when does the clock freeze essentially?
So I honestly don't know in the immigrant visa context. So I think that it would probably be after the I-140 is approved and when you make the application for the immigrant visa. I don't know the answer to that question, but I'll tell you what, I do need to do some research, or I want, not that I want to do research, I want to do a presentation on the Child Status Protection Act on this show, probably in the next couple of weeks. I got to work with Christina and the other lawyers to sort of put that together. But so many people call into the show asking me to do their math for them that I just want to do sort of like, here's some typical family situations, and we'll throw this in there. We'll do an employment one too. So stay tuned for that. Maybe next week or the week after we'll do that.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. You're a big help.
Yeah, I don't think we were, but thanks for saying that, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Peter.
I digest a lot of content of yours, so
yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that was a tough one right out of the box. I know you haven't done a lot of employment stuff yet, and doing consular employment stuff is definitely something we haven't. I mean, I don't know if we've ever in our firm had a consular employment based case. Like we've had people go over and get stamps and stuff for H-1Bs, but not an employment based one.
Where they're all
suits. Yeah.
I think most of the people I speak to, they're already here in the U.S. They have an H-1B or something of that student visa, and then they're applying. So it is a little different.
All right, let's talk to Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Hello.
I'm not sure if you'll be able to help me, but I talked to Daniel like a month or two ago, and he advised that your firm doesn't do parole in place for military families.
That's true.
Do you know like a lawyer By any chance, do you know anyone that
I know
specializes?
the best. I know the best lawyer.
Oh, that's amazing.
And in fact, I think Daniel asked me, and I forgot to tell him. Her name is
Oh,
Margaret Stock. She's in Alaska. Let me see if I can find her. She's former military, and she's just the best.
oh my God, thank you.
Parole in place. Yeah. Yeah, she's in Alaska, but she works all around the country because this is like her specialty.
Mhm.
So I will put her contact information in the chat, or at least her website. There's her website, and Margaret should be able to help you out.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye,
Thank
Cindy.
you.
Cindy.
Bye.
All right. Let's talk to Justin. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
How you doing today?
Very well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a cold day here in Canada today, but we're braving it.
How cold is it?
It was -7 degrees Celsius today.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Man, that's cold.
All good. But thank you for taking my call here. I have a question. So I'm an American citizen, and I'm currently petitioning for my family. So I've sent the I-130s for my wife and my children. So we're kind of in that process right now. So I'm looking ahead. My question really is around vaccination exemptions. And I'm not talking just COVID exemptions, but all vaccination exemptions. I understand that my family will go to the medical. They'll ask at that point whether vaccinations are there. And if they're not, they won't sign the medical. I'll go to the NVC. NVC will see that it's not signed, and then I'll have to submit, I think it's a 601 from what I understand.
Right.
Are you finding challenges on this respect if a family could demonstrate that they have a viable religious exemption?
So I think you will have a lot of grief. I think you're. Oh, sorry for jumping in, Christina. I think
go
you're
ahead.
sort of inviting a whole year or longer of scrutiny, and I think that given the Biden administration's approach, this philosophical approach to the vaccine in general, that you're going to have a real hard time getting that approved.
Okay.
And it might just delay the case even more too.
Definitely going to delay the case for sure.
Yeah, I understand. There's like a 4 to 7 month delay for them to go through that. But I've heard stories as well where if you've been able to display that during your interview, that you might be able to get approved at that point as well. Is that true or not so much?
Well, the waiver's all done without an approval, right? Or the waiver's all done without an interview. Sorry. So you're talking about whether the embassy is going to let you through. I doubt it.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Any advice on approaching that or no?
Well, so I haven't done a medical waiver in a really long time, and of course, mine have always been in the adjustment of status context as opposed to the embassies. The problem is, Justin, that the embassies have so much power. There's no checks and balances on the embassies. The embassies, you can't appeal. You can't ask a federal judge to overturn their decision. They have complete discretion on who they let into the United States. Now, you could appeal the denial of a waiver, but then again, you're adding 18 months to the case, and then you have to ask yourself whether it's actually going to be a winner on appeal. So I think that you can certainly try this, but I think you're really inviting a whole lot of extra delay and headache on yourself.
Yeah. Well, my kids aren't vaccinated, so that's sort of part of it. So we wouldn't go down that process with them. So we're hoping that.
So I think that actually helps you, because to me that sort of, I don't know how old they are, but that's sort of been a consistent application of your family values to the situation. I think that those cases might have a little bit more strength than cases where it's just one particular vaccine that people are objecting to.
Yeah, I got 3 kids that are all under 10 years old. So
yeah. Well, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you
Good
so
luck,
much.
Justin.
Bye, Justin. See you,
care.
buddy. All right. Now this time I'm going to be really quiet and I'm going to let you talk. Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
Hello. Good
Hi,
day.
Andrew. How are you?
I'm great. I just have a question for you guys. I had a charge expunged from my record. So I just wanted to know that going back to the embassy for visa renewal, like, is there any advice or anything I should know, being that I had something on my record, but it's now expunged?
What type of visa are you applying for or renewing?
Visitation visa. Is that a B2, I think, or it's a
You want
visitation
B2?
visa? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would, there's some questions I want to ask you about that particular charge. So I would actually
Okay.
recommend you call into our office. You'll probably talk to me, so I'll see
Mm-hmm.
you again. But yeah, I think there's a few things we want to go over a little bit more to see how it could affect your chances.
Okay.
Have you been to the United States, Andrew?
I have. That's where the charges were filed.
Okay. And so, and that was during your last visit?
Yes.
I mean, the one thing we have to, I mean, Christina's right. We don't want to go into all the details of your charge right now, but the one thing you have to remember, Andrew, is that most visit visas are denied anyway. So
Okay.
most visit visas are denied. So if we operate from that assumption,
Mm-hmm.
then we have to ask ourselves, is it very likely that they're going to give a visa to someone who had this conviction which was expunged? And just so you know, generally expungements are really tricky when it comes to immigration law, right? Expungements are really tricky because, I mean, sometimes people get expungements and it's only for the immigration purpose. Sometimes they get expungements for legitimate reasons. But USCIS usually sort of disregards those expungements, and certainly the State Department does. I mean, we've had lots of people who are in the United States and say get a DUI or a shoplifting charge. They're on a B1 or a F1. And then those visas actually get revoked, sometimes almost automatically by the embassies without giving the person any kind of chance to reply or appeal. So I think that you can certainly talk to Christina about the likelihood of success. But I mean, one is we don't handle visit visas for one thing. And number two, I just think the chances of you actually getting this new visa renewed after you disclose the arrest and the conviction and the expungement are very low. So don't get your hopes up.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Andrew. Take care.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Renee,
tough.
Renee, who knows me, says Jim should put that on a shirt. Most visit visas are denied. I say it most episodes. So yeah, I mean,
it's true.
And frankly, that's why we don't handle them. It's not because we're afraid to fight or anything. It's because every time I've been tricked into helping someone file a DS-160 for a visit or whatever, they always promise me, "Oh, Jim, I'll never get mad at you. You'll do a good job. You're just the right attorney for me. I know you're going to get me this visit visa." I had this guy who had an employee who I think was really his girlfriend. This is the last visit visa that I did. He said, "I'll never get mad at you, Jim. You do your best and we'll just let the chips fall where they may. And I promise I won't get mad at you." He was bringing an employee from Brazil who I think was his secret girlfriend. And of course, I mean, we papered the shit out of that thing. We had an itinerary, we had meetings.
Right.
I mean, it was like an asylum case. And of course, they denied it because she's a young, pretty woman of a marrying age and from Brazil. And they're like, "Boy, you got a lot going on in America.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I think you're going to come back to Brazil?" Well, you don't. They don't. So even putting aside arrest, conviction, expungement,
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's discretionary. Yeah, absolutely.
And completely discretionary. That's exactly right. That's the important word.
Hi, how you doing? Oh, I think you're still on mute. There you go.
Yep. Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
All right. So I have an asylum case with the asylum office since 2016.
Okay.
And I'm just like wondering how much longer I have to wait before I sue the USCIS.
You could absolutely sue now. You've been waiting a very long time. And I'm sure if you've been following the show, we're starting to do this now. Did you file the asylum application within a year of entering the U.S.?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Did you
Yeah.
all right, did you have an attorney before help you?
Yeah, that was that was like in 2016 when I applied. And they can't do anything about like those things. They've been
Right.
like waiting, just like you said, it's just like you have to wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where the lawsuit comes in. It definitely can press fast forward and push them to make that decision. We've been getting a lot of those calls lately, and we're
Right.
happy to review everything for you to see if, it's a good decision to make. But
So,
absolutely, if you've been waiting that long, it's
do
due
you
time.
have an idea how much longer if we like file like a lawsuit? How much longer do we have to wait? Because I have to be like in veterinary residency program next year
Hmm.
or by the end of this year, and that will be like 3 years. So I'm just like, if I go there and then I have to like go to a court or something for removal, that will just like destroy my future.
I see. Yeah, well, with asylum, you before even filing a lawsuit, you want to look at the asylum case itself. You want to see what you submitted before, the evidence you have now to submit, and really build a strong case. And then once you kind of have everything ready, get ready to get going on the lawsuit. Because with the lawsuit, what we're seeing is within a few months or so, they're starting to schedule the interviews, push these cases forward. So you want to make sure you're ready for that interview and you have a good case to present in front of the officer.
Absolutely. All right,
So
guys.
give us a
All right,
call. Give us a call. We'd be happy to
we'll
look
do.
at your
We'll do
application
that.
and talk more about this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Saba.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
So, I mean, Alex says you can sue, but are you ready for the outcome? That's always the question, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I get needing to get his ducks in a row before he starts his residency. And of course, it's always so upsetting when here you're talking about someone who wants to be a doctor and they can't get their immigration status squared away. It just shows you how messed up our immigration rules are.
Absolutely. And especially with asylum, it's such a high risk type of case because it's either going to be approved at USCIS, which is the ideal situation, or more likely than not, it'll get referred to immigration court. And that could be years before an individual hearing is scheduled.
Which is why we held off on doing them for a while. That and the high denial rate. So
Yeah.
it's a different wicket when you talk about asylum. But I think since we turned them back on, I think we just filed our 4th the other day. I think you filed one, didn't you?
I think so. Just got notified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how
Jim.
are
Hi,
you?
Christina. Good. Thank you. Hello.
How can we
So,
how can we help you?
good. Yeah, so I am a green card holder, and I have a son that's he is 12 and he's in Ethiopia.
Okay.
And I was trying to get him to come here. And my husband is a U.S. citizen, so he is petitioning him as a stepchild to make things faster. So
Good.
right now, the case is at embassy. I've already submitted all the documents that I needed to. I'm waiting for them to send me an email to confirm that everything is qualified or regarding documents.
Mhm.
So I'm hearing now that the whole process is pretty much going to take about a couple of years or so for my son to be here. And then on top of that, in Ethiopia, I try to check the website of the embassy that's in Ethiopia, and it's saying that they have suspended all visa processing.
I see.
So I'm not sure what I can do at this point because my son is currently residing at my grandparents, who are really old, meaning they have retired. They're getting tired. I had promised them that I would bring him here. This year would be a done deal. But now that I'm finding all the things out and bringing this up to them, they're saying that it's going to be too much. They can't take care of him anymore.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I can expedite or.
It's going
I
to be a
don't know
little
what
tough
to do
to
at this point.
expedite. Yeah. It
Mhm.
sounds like you might need to have a different embassy or consulate take the case and schedule the interview. Do you have any family
Right.
members that live in another country that's close by, or
Djibouti.
okay?
Would there
I'm
be a way to transfer
You can ask. I
the
mean, right
case?
now, what? So where's your case right now? Your case is pending at USCIS.
It's pending as USCIS. Yes,
So as far as your case, Bishu, and do you have your green card, or did you apply for the green card, or what? Where?
I have a green card.
So you
I think I'm about to apply for my citizenship. I'm due.
so you came? Did you come on a visit, or what kind of a visa did you have?
I came on asylum, but then over here I got married to a U.S. citizen, and I got my green card about almost 3 years ago. But
So you
I've
mean
been here for 6
you came as a
years.
refugee? You entered the United States
I
as a
came
refugee
here on a visitor visa. On a visitor visa.
and applied for asylum.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
you left him in Ethiopia when you came to the United States.
that's correct.
And did you file an I-730 for him when your asylum got approved, or no?
My asylum wasn't approved. I was married to a U.S. citizen.
Oh,
Now my asylum
oh,
application is withdrawn.
got it. So, okay.
Hmm.
I don't think you're going to be able to expedite it. You might be able to I mean, but either way, he's not coming this year. I mean, if your husband just filed it recently,
Right.
it's going
it's
to
gonna
be,
take it's
yeah, I
gonna
don't
take a few years.
like, I'll say this right
Hmm.
now, and this isn't a nice thing to
Hmm.
say, but from their point of view,
Okay.
they're going to say to themselves,
Right.
she left her son behind. We're not going to speed things up to help her after she left her son behind. That's what they're going to say, as evil as that is.
Hmm.
So I don't think you're going to get any
Okay.
love on expediting. I think you just got to go through the process and
Hmm.
let it
And
work
just
itself
wait for
out.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah.
That will
Yeah.
Bye,
do.
Bishu.
Thank you.
Take
You have a
care.
great day.
Thank you. You too.
Tough case.
The embassies, they've just been delayed.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff going on in Ethiopia right now. I think they're having like civil war or something. So I think there's all kinds of stuff going on. Let's see what Adam has to say. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Christina. How are you?
Great.
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for what you are doing. I
Absolutely.
have a few questions, but I think they are very quick questions. Jim, I applied for adjustment of status, and I see on the form I-485 a question. The question is, have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or this something? If somebody served in military in his country, is this a problem?
It depends on the country, and it
Yeah.
depends on what the job was in the military.
No, it's just the military service. Like in some countries, it's 1 year, 1 year and a half,
Sure.
and yeah, which is mandatory.
Go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, I think you're on the right path. It really does depend on the country and how involved you were when you were in the military. That you have to, at the end of the day, you have to be honest on your application and make sure you answer that honestly, and then be prepared to explain to the officer when your interview comes how much you were involved.
Okay, I see the chat. If I put the name of my country in the chat, you can guess, like,
Yeah.
or okay.
Yeah, really. I mean, really, there's just a few. Like, for instance, I had somebody the other day reach out to me, and he was from Iran, and he served in the Islamic Guard, and that's a group that's been named a terrorist organization by the Trump administration. It'll probably be undone by the Biden administration, but it hasn't yet. Which means, but if you're talking, Adam, if you're talking about and I haven't seen what country, but that's okay. If you're just talking about general military service, where you're sort of sitting around a desk, you're not in combat.
Yeah. It's like that. Everybody who is 18 years, between 18 and up, he has to serve. Like 1 year, but my time is 1 year and a half.
That's not a problem. They might ask for some details about it, but if you're talking about that, you should be fine, no problem. But as Christina said, the most important thing is to disclose it.
Okay. And also, I have very quick questions. Is getting health insurance is a public charge like Obamacare? You know, F1 students, when they come here, they can apply for this.
I don't believe, I mean, it's required to have health insurance for tax purposes and everything. I'm not too sure if that will be considered. With public charge, they're focused heavily on, the benefits that you're getting if you are using any benefits or receiving any benefits from the government. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but I think healthcare and health insurance is a little different.
Yeah, I think you're fine, Adam. I don't think you need to worry about it. That was a big thing in the Trump team, but the Biden team, they're not that hung up on it. You'll be fine.
Okay, me and my wife, she is the petitioner. We have the interview after 3 weeks, and she lost her citizenship, but she has the passport, American passport. Is that okay?
You mean she lost her certificate of citizenship?
Yes.
Did you submit a copy of it with your application?
We submitted a copy of her passport.
Yeah, that's all they need. They have their own internal records. So if you have a copy of the passport, that's all they need.
Okay, and the last question. I don't know if this question is a question or can a USCIS agent ask for private things between the spouses, like, sex and these things?
They shouldn't, but sometimes they do.
If they ask, can I say I'm not willing to answer this question, or I have to?
What was the question? What do you want to know?
It's like
intimate questions
yes.
during an interview, like intimacy.
So we had someone on here the other day, all bent out of shape about that. It's very rare. Very rare. I mean,
they'll ask you what side of the bed you sleep on.
That's
who usually
fine.
wakes up early. Those
fine.
are yeah.
But
those are more typical.
sex questions are pretty rare. They usually stay away from that. I mean, Amani told me the other day that this officer who just retired from St. Louis, who he generally fought with a lot, that she got really mad and said one time she said, "Did you guys have sex on your first date?" That's like the closest we've gotten. It's very rare that sex comes up.
Okay.
I mean, other than the fact that, in order for it to be a valid marriage, you have to say that the marriage was consummated. So consummated is a word that not everybody knows. And so just for those watching, consummated just means, have you had sex? And so, the one thing where that Andrew always says that comes up, especially on the overseas cases, is if they've never actually been in the same town. But other than that, they sort of take your word for it. They don't ask you like the details of it all. So I think you'll be fine.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye,
Okay.
Adam.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye,
too.
Adam. So here's what Alex said. They asked me exactly what he was not supposed to. I was furious. Yeah. Anybody want to put in the comments if you've all had, we got 195 people watching. If you've had officers ask questions about sex life, throw it in the comments, just because Dwayne's raising his hand. I don't know if that means he wants to come on the show or no.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hi. Sorry about that. I was just playing.
It's all right. It's all right. We're on to our next caller. What do you got for us?
Okay, so my wife's been in contact with your office a couple of times, and we submitted some information regarding you guys picking up or had a request for evidence, and so we're just waiting on our taxes to be completed to submit the rest of it to you for the affidavit of support and the household member affidavit of support for the two of them. But this is for the question is there was I have two questions. First of all, it's for my daughter, who is a Canadian citizen. She's I filed for her in 2015, and at the time I filed, I was a resident, and now I'm a citizen. My wife's a resident as well. My daughter came down last year. She got stuck in the COVID thing, and we were having problems, so we weren't even aware of the 485 at the time. We were trying to get an extension for her. We didn't want her to be out of beyond her 6 months. So
how old is she, Dwayne? How old is she?
She's 26 now.
Is she married or unmarried?
Unmarried, no children. Okay. But in that time, when I phoned and I was trying to get the 539 extension, they said, don't do it. Somebody said, just file the 485. So we did that. But now I'm wondering if it's because her visa, her priority date was current last year. when we filed the 485, and she's in status as far as, and she is documentedly entered. She came through the airport, U.S. Customs. So her case was at National Visa Center Montreal, but we contacted them and said, USCIS is handling it. They said, okay. Since then, she had she got the 797 from that. She got her biometrics. Can we do this or can't we?
I mean, it sounds like it's on its way, and an interview might be getting scheduled soon. You said the priority date is current and everything?
Yes.
We just need the RFE.
We just need to respond to the RFE, which we've talked to your office about.
What did the RFE ask for, Dwayne?
It asked for to resubmit the affidavit of support for myself and the household member.
And the taxes.
And the taxes.
So just to be clear, you, back when you had your green card a couple of years ago, filed an immigrant visa petition, an I-130, for your overage daughter.
No,
That
she
got
was-
At the time she was 20. She
Okay.
aged out.
Yep. Like our friend who called at the top of the show. Okay. All right. So you filed an I-130 for her. She ages out. She's in Canada. She does all of her waiting in Canada. She enters the United States at a time that her priority date is current. She files.
When she entered, it wasn't current.
But it got current.
Yes.
Current in the first 6 months or after the extension.
No, we never filed for the extension. We were looking into it.
Hold on. I think I got you. I just want to make sure. When did she enter?
February last year.
February
January
2020.
January last year.
2021. When does it become current?
Oh, my wife says it might have been then, but just to,
Okay.
I was going to say every year she's come down and spent 4 to 6 months with us every year since we filed for her. So it's not unusual.
Yeah, no problem. So then during the 6 months that she's here, she files for a green card based on the approved I-130 with a current priority date.
With the current priority.
Yes.
Okay. And then that case gets receipted and it's been pending. And now there's an RFE on that.
Yes.
And your
she already
question
did the biometrics.
Your question to me is, do I think this is going to work?
Yes.
I think it is, but I wouldn't have filed this. Like, this makes me too anxious.
Oh.
Like, I would not have, because, and just to be clear, you talked about an extension of her entry. Did you ever file the I-539 to extend it?
No. No.
But she was in status. She was in status at the time that she filed for the green card.
Yes.
This makes me extremely nervous, but the RFE that you got is a good sign, right? It's a good sign. To me, it's even a sign that they might approve it without an interview, which would be crazy. But I think that might be where you're headed. So fingers crossed. I mean, what do you think, Christina? I don't do these. I don't file these. I've taken a bunch of the cases I took over from DC, had these kind of scenarios where somebody came on a visit and applied for an immigrant visa. It just makes me nervous.
It's all about the intent, because then they start questioning whether or not they intended to just come here to visit or they intended to be here in the country to then,
Yeah, she still had a residence there.
Yeah, so I would say that if she does get an interview notice, Dwayne, you're going to want to do everything possible to prove up the fact that it was only because of COVID and that she had an intention of going back. Like you said, since 2015, she's come for 6 months every year. That's really helpful, right? And it could even be, the whole thing is, if she decided in the United States to apply for adjustment, that's a whole lot better than if she knew and she brought every earthly possession with her across the border.
Yeah, she didn't bring anything, just holidays clothes. Okay, so we were as I said, my wife was in contact with your office about doing the adjustment of status, or not the adjustment of status, the affidavit of support for both of them.
RFE.
But we were wanting also, and we're planning on moving forward with that. But I was wondering if you guys could just take it over in its entirety.
Yeah, we'll take it over.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just, now that we know that, because she's been trying to get to get an answer on this for a few days.
Yeah, just have her call tomorrow and tell them to put her through to Christina. Christina will know now that she was here. What's your wife's first name, Dwayne?
Phyllis.
Phyllis.
Okay.
All
right, we're on it, Dwayne. We got you.
Okay, thanks, man. Thank you, Christine.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was something.
Yeah.
That's the old law school exam question. I mean, I had a bunch of those sort of adult children. I got 3 or 4 of those adult children of green card holders up in Maryland and Virginia. It just makes me.
It's tricky
because they're not immediate relatives. That's the part I don't like. I mean, I think they're fine on immigrant intent, but it's the not being in status on the day of the interview that bothers me. Right.
Yeah.
That's what gets me going. All right, we got a bunch of people in the waiting room. All right, everybody, listen up. We got 20 minutes left. I know you all want to talk to Christina, but we're going to try to do a little rapid fire. So real quick with the questions. Let's see how many we can knock out in 19 minutes. Ravi's up.
Hi, Ravi.
You're muted, Ravi. There you go.
Hi, Christina. All right, so my question is related to my IR1 status. I'm married to a US citizen in 2019. And my USCIS petition got approved in October 2020. And I was documentary qualified via NVC on 15th January 2021. Now I can see in the Mumbai consulate, they are giving the interviews who are having DQ after me. Like right now, they are giving the interviews for the June 2021 documentary qualified, but my qualification was on 15th January. So I just want to know that why they have skipped my case.
What was the date that the case got moved to the National Visa Center?
We got the approval from the USCIS on October 10th, 2020, and it moved to USCIS on, I guess, 16th or 17th of October 2020.
Okay.
And then we submitted all the documents and it got documentary qualified in January 2021.
As far as skipping you, I'm trying to do the math right here in my head to see if a lawsuit is a possible choice to push it forward.
I mean, it's DQ'd over a year ago. Yeah. So that means states had it more than a year. I mean, I think it's a close call. You might want to wait another month or two, but otherwise sue them is the only thing that's going to get it moving.
Because
so you're gonna get their attention.
Yeah, because I heard there are other people's also. They were in the skip list before me, but there are very like 7 or 8 cases. But most of the people are getting the interviews, and we checked with our attorney. He's just like, he told me like, I'm very helpless. I can't do anything. And we also checked with the congresswoman of our state. And she has raised the request with the NVC, but from there also we didn't get any.
When did USCIS approve the I-130?
October 2020.
So 18 months. States had it for 18 months. I think you should sue them.
I think it's about time. You've made those efforts to reach out to Congress, and reach out to us, and we're ready to help.
Sorry, Christina. Where does your wife live?
She's in Chicago.
Perfect. Chicago, we like suing in Chicago. They're really good to deal with. Let's try. I'd say go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And other thing is, I am working in Finland. So is it okay if I shift my interview location from India, like Mumbai consulate, to here, like Helsinki?
Yeah. Too bad you didn't call yesterday when Andrew was here. But yeah, you can ask Helsinki to take it. So it's sort of tricky. It's their discretion whether or not they want it. I don't believe that the Helsinki U.S. consulate is overly burdened, so they might be willing to, but that might be a nice combination. Sue them and then say, hey, by the way, Ravi's in Finland. Do you guys want to just let him process in Finland? And then they'll say, yeah, that might be the right play.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll wait for a month or two, and then after that, I will try to shift my case.
Perfect. Hopefully you won't need us. Bye, Ravi.
All right, thank you. Bye.
All right. We got 15 minutes left. Let's talk to Tyler. Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello. Hi. Okay, so my wife is German. We got married in Georgia in August of 2021. The I-797's priority date that we received back from the I-130 is 10/8 of 2021. We were told by our attorney in the beginning that this whole process, from the time that we filed the I-130 until she got approved to, the visa or whatever this required to come to the U.S., would take somewhere between 6 and 14 months. This is really critical to us because she's a teacher at a college in Germany, and once her sort of school year starts, actually once her school year ends, she has the opportunity to sort of put her employment on hold. And this would allow us the year for her to come here and then for us to decide where we want to live. And she could potentially keep just putting her employment on hold every year until she reaches retirement age. If she just flat out quits, then she loses her retirement. And we may end up back in Germany. So we're just really wanting to buy some time so we can decide what to do. She'll spend at least 1 year here. However, the attorney that we had working for us at this firm got another job and quit, and we didn't even know she was gone. And now we find this out, and one of the partners in the law firm called us, or we arranged a call with him, and he's basically what's happened is they kind of just dropped off the planet, and nobody is communicating with us. So 2 questions. One is, was the original estimate that they had on this I-130 process accurate, 7 to 14 months or 6 to 14 months? Because that's really the key question, because at this point, if she needs to, she might have an opportunity to sort of undo the employment hold that she applied for. Otherwise, she's going to have a whole lot of expenses to live there for that additional year with no job. It's illegal for her to take another job in Germany, by the way. So because she's a state employee.
You walked us through the dates at the beginning, but that was sort of before I was engaged because I didn't understand.
No problem.
So go a little slower and walk us through the dates again. And when you say you got married in Georgia, do you mean the state
country.
or the country?
The country.
Yeah.
So we met in Georgia. I mean, we knew each other before, but we met in Georgia to get married in August of 2021.
Okay.
We returned. We both came back to the U.S. and hung out here for a while. I think she was here for a few weeks before she went back home. And we applied. We applied with the I-130, and we've gotten the I-797C back. The priority date on it is 10/8/2021.
Okay. So and when does her school year end?
Her school year ends in July, and then she goes back to school in late September.
So you want to know, do we think if this the I-130 is still pending at USCIS?
Yeah, and the processing center is Texas.
And you want to know, do we think that the USCIS will approve the I-130 and I'll process through the National Visa Center, and she'll have her interview in Germany before July or August when she has to decide whether or not
No.
to renew?
Basically, if this all happened like even anywhere between September and like next March, then it's easy for us to go, okay, this is kind of in the middle, and we'll just play out the 6 months or whatever where she's not employed. But if it's going to take, anywhere near that following July, then why not keep working, right? I mean,
yeah,
we're talking scores of thousands of dollars for her to live that we're just going to be paying out of the bank while
Christina,
she's
go
living
ahead.
in Germany.
Yeah, I think that timeline, I mean, from my knowledge, I-130 cases, they're taking at least 1.5 years, especially for abroad. It's really going to determine how soon the I-130 gets approved and then pushes forward, and then it'll be up to the embassy or consulate to schedule that interview.
Does it matter if in the meantime, and I can't say the 100% sure this has been filed, but I believe it has. Like I said, my attorney just sort of dropped off the map. We also just very recently applied for an I-129F.
That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not going to go anywhere.
Wait, hold on. I have to put up my favorite banner. Hold on. Everyone knows. Here it comes. Here it comes. No K3, waste of time. No K3, waste of time. Now, the other thing I'll say is if you want us to take over, because we're not going to disappear, we'd love to try to help you with the case. But I think you're fine on the timeline. I mean, if you're talking about a whole other school year, you're totally fine. Yeah. And I mean, a couple things. And is she in Germany or is she in Georgia?
She's in Germany.
Yeah, Germany is one of the best, most efficient embassies there is. One time I had a case in Germany. This was crazy, Christina. They emailed me a letter, and I got it in the same day. The same day I got the email as I got the physical letter in St. Louis. That totally like blew my mind, right? Like, oh man, they're really organized. So I think she'll go right through. So I think your timeline's fine.
So we're really looking at middle of 2023 probably.
Yeah, so let's walk it through. So October of 2021 we filed, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Well, that's our priority date.
Probably get out of USCIS August, September, October, somewhere in there. A month to get things rolling at the NVC. NVC 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just waiting for Germany, and I don't think there's a huge backlog in Germany. They're running things. They're not COVID, heavy right now. So I think your timeline is actually pretty darn good.
So you think it's possible that she'll be able to, like, come to the U.S., I don't know, near or before, like, March of 2023?
I would say summer of 2023.
All
I'm
right.
thinking
So
May, July.
if she keeps her employment and her school year ends in July, let's say that they approve this and the embassy is talking to her, scheduling an interview in April or something, or even before. Is there some sort of pressure for her at that point, once the interview is done, for her to leave the country of Germany? Like,
there can be, because there'll be a deadline to enter the United States on the visa. But we can play around with those dates, because if things start going too fast and she wants to finish her school year, we can slow walk some things at the embassy or the medical to make it all work out.
How much leeway are you able to create with that method?
We could create a year if we had to.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, so you're fine.
You're in good shape.
And so changing attorneys isn't going to cause any delay in and of itself.
No, especially since we just enter at USCIS and then we're good to go.
One last question: how do you determine? Like, we've been paying them on monthly installments, this whole time. How do you determine how much they've done?
That's a fun question.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did you agree to pay them over? I assume they were supposed to be the lawyer until she got here with her green card.
Yeah,
right?
It was roughly $6,000.
Yeah. So see, again, I said it yesterday. We're not charging enough, Christina. But anyway, I think you have. I mean, if you've paid them, certainly if you've paid. I mean, the way we do it is $2,500 for the first part, which is until USCIS approves it. But we get paid monthly like you do. So I would say that at the least, if you've paid them more than $3,000, you should get a refund for that. But also, disappearing lawyer, disappearing law firm. I mean, you might be thinking about wanting to get a whole refund, or a big refund.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
Tyler.
Bye.
Hey, buddy. Good luck. All right. I think we got time for one or two more, huh?
Yes. Absolutely.
How you doing over there?
Good. This is exciting.
Everybody's making fun of the Jets in the chat as usual. How's causing me trouble on the Jets? Of course he is.
Oh, hello. Hi. Yeah, so I have a question regarding adjustment of status based on diversity visa lottery. So actually, I won diversity visa in 2022.
Congratulations.
So and I hope my case number will be available in next 2 months. So my question was, do you think is that possible to adjust my status in 4 months before the end of fiscal year?
Yeah. Where do you live?
So I'll be in Austin, Texas.
Yeah. So I if you watch this show ever for Devs, I badmouth USCIS all the time. But the one thing that I'll give them credit for is that when they get a DV adjustment case, they act pretty quickly. And if Andrew and I have had some where the visa number becomes current in August. So if you get current, you said next month you think you're current?
Yeah, so because current bulletin available for Europe region it's 27,000, in my case it's slightly more than 27,000, like a few hundreds above.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one that I think you should feel like you're in good shape.
Oh, that sounds really positive, to be honest.
Awesome. Good job, buddy.
Okay.
Congratulations. And just as a reminder, everybody, if you want to apply for the diversity visa, I know it sounds like a long shot, but you get to skip OPT, you get to skip H-1B, you get to skip getting married, you get to skip all that stuff. And Ferdow's going to go one level below citizenship because he's going to get that green card.
Yeah, and by the way, so at the moment I have an L1B visa, so I think that's available for changing status to permanent resident.
Great. Good job, bud.
Good.
Congrats.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
All right. Take care.
Happy for him.
That's so great.
Yep.
All right. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Lucky.
Christina. So here's my question, kind of help needed from you guys. So my wife is abroad and she might get an interview very soon, and she is halfway through her pregnancy. So during the medicals, do you think will they accept as it is, or X-rays, radiations will cause any trouble?
No, they'll give her a break on all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it won't be any incomplete when she is going to an interview face to face. And
I've never had that happen. They've always been very kind and easy to deal with. And at the most, I've seen them postpone it to after the baby's born, but that only happened like one time. So I don't think you need to worry about that.
okay, so hopefully, fingers crossed. And the main reason I'm calling again and again to you guys is we are almost there with you guys, Hope and Jim. Thank you.
You got it.
All
Bye,
right.
Lackey. See you, buddy. I think you're fine. Yep. All right, now I'd be remiss. Nora will yell at me when I get home if I don't mention TikTok. So everybody, now I made an informational TikTok the other day and I felt really dumb. Nora says that I should just be silly, so I'm pretty much just silly on TikTok. So if you want the goods, you got to come on here with me and Christina. But otherwise, TikTok's where it's at.
Yes.
All right, we got time for one more. Let's see what Irfan has to say.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Yeah. So, Jim, you remember me? I spoke with you and Daniel earlier.
I mean, sort of. I talk to I talk to people every day.
Yeah. So, Jim, actually, I got I applied for I-7. I came on 2 years conditional green card. Then I applied for I-751 in December 2019, and then I applied last year April for N400, even though I-751 is pending. So finally I got N400 interview scheduled in March, but they didn't mention anything about I-751 in the interview letter.
Yep, that makes sense.
So my question is, like, they will conduct both I-751 and N400, or just N400?
Maybe just I've seen it. I mean, I don't know if you've had that, Christina, but I've shown up there and they didn't have the 751 file. I've had them say officers don't know how to do the 751s. I mean, certainly bring your spouse, certainly bring marital evidence, certainly come prepared to do both, but don't be surprised if they if they're not ready for you.
Okay. Okay. And I also, got a letter that I-751, your interview got rescheduled, like it was in back 2021 February. I never spoke with anyone. I don't know why I got the letter that my I-751 got rescheduled or something like that.
When did you get that letter?
Recently, like
1 week back.
week.
Everybody and his brother who have had a 751 on file received that letter, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. But what I would do, Irfan, is I would call USCIS before your N400 interview and ask them the question that you just asked us.
Okay. Sure. So I need to go prepared with I-751 file as well as N400, both.
Of course.
And bring your spouse.
Yep.
Yeah, my spouse, and I have 2 kids, so I will take everyone.
No, don't bring the kids. Don't
kids
bring
won't go
in. Nothing good happens when the only thing that happens when kids go to the interview is they separate the couple because somebody's got to go watch the kids, and that just causes mischief. So don't bring the kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is Chicago field office? Your experience, Jim?
One of my favorites. Total pros.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Jim. Yeah, that was my question actually. So I just got N400, so I just want to know if they conduct I-751 and N400 together or not. So
good luck, buddy. Let us know how it goes, okay?
Definitely, I will. Thank you.
Bye. Good luck.
I thought he wasn't driving. I felt sort of bad because I'm not supposed to talk to people when they're driving. So, all right. Well, so see, here's what I know. Brownwind says we brought our kid, and they did not separate us. In fact, the interview was quick. That's the other thing that can happen. But I've seen a lot of mischief caused, not because the kids were naughty, but because the officer was naughty. All right. Well, you survived. How'd you like it?
It's good. I like
I mean, it's
it.
what you do all day.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
Well, thanks for coming on. We'll have you on again for sure.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Christina,
you,
see ya.
everyone.
Everyone.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye.